Hey, I'm back, and I have some odds and ends for you guys and your pre-reading today. So there have been some questions relayed to me through Miss Villegas about quizzes, tests, and how we're going to do these things. So you can see up on the overhead, you guys are going to have a Chapter 1 and 2 quiz. Chapter 1 is really small, so I thought I would combine it with Chapter 2. It'll just be a short quiz, maybe 10 questions. You'll also have a vocabulary quiz based upon your Unit 1 note cards. Okay, so you're going to have to start studying those note cards, learning them so that you can take a Unit 1 vocabulary test in the next couple of weeks. You're also going to have a Chapter 3 test. So Unit 1, which is basically an introduction to the Constitution of the United States, is Chapter 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's your Unit 1, and it is actually 15 to 22% of the AP test. So this is the opening. Once you're done with Chapter 1, 2, and 3, you're going to have a Unit 1 multiple choice and FRQ test. So that's coming probably early to mid-September. And then the last thing, when it comes to odds and ends, I would like you guys to bring your note cards to class on a daily basis. Reason for that, I'm going to cover in the notes some of the things, or the lessons, and sometimes you'll see vocabulary words in there. I'm going to highlight those vocabulary words for you. So what you should do is bring your note card, and as we're going over those, flip it over, and you can add things to it that you learned in class. That way you have more contextual information when you're reviewing in April for the AP test. So that way you're not just looking at a basic definition, now you have a more robust definition. So you should be adding to your note cards. Number one, as you're taking notes. Number two, as you are watching the videos in class. Okay, so they should be a working, living document. You should be adding to them throughout the year. And it's going to go unit by unit. So Unit 1 cards for Unit 1, Unit 2 cards for Unit 2. You don't have to bring an entire giant stack until April, and that's when we're going to start reviewing. Also, there are some fun little review games we can do with our note cards where you can work with a partner just to practice when you have a little bit of downtime in class. But it does necessitate that everybody bring their note cards every day. You can't rely on your one friend to bring their cards every day and hope that's enough. You need to be using your note cards daily. Alright, I think that's that. Let's go ahead and go to the pre-reading real quick. So, today you're going to be reading pages 39 through 42. And here you're going to look at three major things. You're going to be describing the three principles Jefferson put forth in the Declaration of Independence. Okay, they're important because they're foundational ideas that Americans hold true today, even in 2019. Okay, you're going to have to describe what the Articles of Confederation were. Okay, and I have a little abbreviation here, AOC. And when I talk about AOC, I'm talking about the Articles of Confederation. I'm not talking about AOC over here. Okay, we will talk about her later on when we talk about political parties and the media. So when I say AOC, now I'm talking about the Articles of Confederation. When I say AOC as a politician, this is what I'm talking about. We'll discuss her a little bit later on. But let's get back to the reading itself. The next thing you have to do is you're going to have to describe the structure of the government that was established under the Articles of Confederation. And you're also going to have to talk about its weaknesses. Because before the United States of America existed, we were the Confederated States of America. So for a short period of time, from 1776 until 1789, we didn't have the United States of America. We had the Confederated States of America, and it was a different government. It operated differently than what we have today. So it's important to understand there was a little window there where we were not the United States of America, and it's important to understand what the Articles of Confederation were, what it was supposed to do, and what ended up happening because there were some weaknesses, and it didn't end up working. So that's your pre-reading today, and hopefully you have enough time to write these things down. Maybe we can even pause the video, and you can finish writing down these three focus questions as you're writing and taking notes. All right, I'll see you for the post-reading. Oh, I forgot one more thing. So I talked about the Articles of Confederation, and I used a little abbreviation, AOC. You should get used to doing that in government when you're taking notes. If you're taking lecture notes or if you're taking notes from the reading, you need to be using abbreviations because you're going to be writing a lot of stuff over and over again. So I have a few abbreviations up. You don't have to write them down now. I'm just giving you examples of the way it should appear. So Declaration of Independence, DOI. Okay. The Constitution, I usually just do capital TC, the Constitution, because we refer to it often, and we write that all the time, refer back to it. Another one, Supreme Court of the United States. Even when you're watching the news or you're reading an article, they'll often refer to the Supreme Court of the United States as SCOTUS. Same thing for the President of the United States, they refer to him as POTUS. So just get used to some abbreviations like that, and then it really cuts down on your writing. Now, the reason I talk about the Supreme Court of the United States and saying SCOTUS is that each state has its own Supreme Court. It's a Supreme Court for that state. So there is a Supreme Court of California, a Supreme Court of Arizona, and so forth for all 50 states. So when we say the United States Supreme Court, it's really easy to just refer to it as SCOTUS because it is the ultimate law of the land, and that's why it should have its own abbreviation. I think that's it. So this is really the end for the pre-reading, and I'll see you guys for the post-reading.